Jaya Gopi Jannavalabha Nidivadari Jaya Gopi Jannavalabha Nidivadari Yashodanandana Bhadana Yashodanandana Bhadana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Please give 3 times Haribol to Srimala Prabhu, Vishnu Swami Prabhu, and Bhakti Nojasri. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. So, on behalf of ISKCON of Greater Cleveland, Srimala Prabhu, and myself, we would like to invite His Grace Ram Kirtan Prabhu. He's from ISKCON Columbus. He has been serving the Columbus community from last 20 years or more than that. He has done his master's in mechanical engineering in India, and he lives with his family in Columbus. He's right now working for a bank, and he does a lot of services in ISKCON Columbus. He has been part of the executive committee for until a few years back, but now they keep changing the committee. Now he's mainly services on book distribution and coordinating all the events with different devotees. And his family, his wife and his kids, they are all Krishna conscious. They do a lot of services as well. His lot of people across ISKCON in USA, India, they know his son very well. He serves in the Bhakti Center. His name is Hadai Brand Prabhu, and yeah. So.
Oh, that's your son?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Haribol. Yeah, he's very inspiring personality.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Bhakti Center, Brooklyn, Bhakti Center. Brooklyn. Okay. Yeah. So without much further delay, I would like to give this to Ram Kirtan Prabhu to speak about Sri Siksastakam. We know how powerful that 8 verses that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wrote. So we are very happy or grateful for Prabhu to speak about that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for those kind words. We'll start with a short prayer to our Gurus. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhudale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Vinamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desada. Hare Krishna. Jai Sri Prabhupada. Welcome all to the Sunday feast. So I just wanted to share a few words on Siksastakam. Hopefully, maybe you are able to hear me. Right? I know. Better now, right?
Yes.
Better. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. So I saw two new faces. I think you are the first time you are coming today. Welcome, welcome. Can I get your names, please? Anand. Anand and Preeti. Anand and Preeti. Welcome. And all others are regular. Okay, so, so I think initially I was thinking I'll first read the Siksastakam and then go through the slides, but I thought I will reverse it as you're the first time you are thinking about this concept. So first we will go through the slides, give you a little bit background information, and then we will recite Siksastakam together.
Prabhu, they're actually, they've been devotees for some time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should we first
Yeah.
recite then? Should we just go with the recitation?
Whatever works for you, but
Okay.
they have some background.
Okay, I think we can still stick to that, right? First have the slides and then we'll recite in the last. So, but we'll definitely recite. So,
Okay, I'm new.
because last time I did this in Columbus, I just did 2 verses and they were like really upset with me. They said they want all the 8 verses. So, all the devotees
All
are
or none around you.
Is it better? Yeah. Okay, so since all of you are aware, so a little bit of background about Sri Siksastakam. These are the 8 verses actually spoken, and it's done in a written form. There are definitely many, many more verses which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said. All of them have not been documented. So these are not the only 8 verses which Mahaprabhu has spoken. Mahaprabhu has spoken many more verses. But these are the ones which are actually documented in Chaitanya Charitamrita, one of our scriptures. So one of the 3 main scriptures we have. So this was just like a little bit background. So most of you are aware, like Mahaprabhu came to teach and show by his personal example, pure devotional service. So this is also called bhakti. So pure bhakti is something which we always miss, and that is what Mahaprabhu is there, and in which a devotee has no selfish desire even to go back to Godhead. This is a very major statement right there, because most of, at least me, I come to do devotional service so that I can go back to Godhead and all the states. So this one, so it just talks about pure service. So as Srila Prabhupada says, the pure devotee considers the liberation of going back to Godhead to be sense gratification. He wants only to serve the Lord. That is pure devotional service. That is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach and exemplify. And that is what Srila Prabhupada also taught and exemplified and wants us to follow. One may engage in devotional service externally, and that is very good. But what really matters in devotional service is the consciousness. Only when one comes to the transcendental platform is one freed from the influence of the modes. Just to summarize from my experience, what it really means is we can do devotional service, we can do bhakti, we can do a lot of external things, but all that matters is what's there in the heart. Finally, what comes from the depth of your hearts. That's what actually matters. All other things are good, should be done, and that will help you feel that thing, because it's this is something like an organic growth. It doesn't happen over a day, over a night, and all. It has to be gradually. So that's what is being talked about. So that's why, and Mahaprabhu gives us the glimpse of what does that mean. What does that pure devotional service mean? So, moving on. So about these 8 verses. So this is, I think most of you might be recognizing the name, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, and you should all be proud. And I'm definitely very lucky to be here. For me, this is a very holy place. The whole of Cleveland is a very holy place because that is the birthplace of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. So I consider it to be a dham. This is where holy people. So definitely, and that's where I added this. So this gives you an overview of the 8 verses, right? So verse 1, cleansing the mirror of the heart. So it's word Cheto Darpan Marjan. It starts with that. The second verse is our unfortunate position, Nam Namakari. Then verse 3 is humility and tolerance, Srina Japi Sunisena. Verse 4 is wanting only devotional service, Na Janam. Verse 5 is the ocean of birth and death, I Nanda Tanuja. Then verse 6 is flowing tears of love, Nayanam. Verse 7 is mood of separation, Yugayitam. Verse 8, my worshipful Lord, unconditionally, Ashlisha. So, again, as I've written a couple of lines, the Siksastakam prayers are brief but present eternal profound truths. They present information on states of consciousness from Sambandha to Prayojana and discuss obstacles to be avoided as well as achievements to be attained. But the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya, even a lowly fool like myself can read such an extraordinary text and have the audacity to share a few ideas with others. I just wanted to add a disclaimer here. This is what His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj wrote. So you can understand my position. So if he's writing this, then you can understand. So please, no way think I'm in some kind of expert in Siksastakam or anything. Nothing like that. I'm also trying to learn. So, and feel free to stop me anywhere. Absolutely feel. And I like it to be interactive. If you are not, if you have any questions or anything, please feel to. I'll try to explain as far as possible. Right? Feel free to stop. And there is no such this thing. So that's for on the reflections there, and some other points. Let me see what is the next. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. But a couple of things on the Siksastakam prayers I just wanted to add. These Siksastakam prayers are something very fundamental. Why would I would say it is a very fundamental and one of those kind of foundation for ISKCON or for any Gaudiya Vaishnava thing. There is a Srila Prabhupada has written in one of places that all of the Goswami literatures, they are based on the Siksastakam. The philosophy of the whole Gaudiya Vaishnavas is based out of these 8 prayers. So these are like the foundation of the whole Gaudiya ISKCON philosophy. So that's why that is one thing. And second thing, these are, how important are these? Supremely important. You understand that word supreme, right? Because we say supreme personality of Godhead. When we say Lord Krishna, we say supreme person. So this is supremely important. You know why? Because it comes from the mouth of the supreme person of Lord Chaitanya. So that's why it is supreme. So these prayers are very fundamental, and actually, what they say is these 8 can be mapped to the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So the first verse is Hare Krishna. Second verse is Hare Krishna. Third verse is Krishna Krishna. Fourth verse is Hare Hare. Fifth verse is Hare Rama. Sixth is Hare Rama. Seventh is Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Eighth is Hare Hare. So that's the importance. And it's not only that, these verses are same as the holy name. So they are not different from the holy name, because it came from the mouth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these words. So we are so lucky that we are even able to hear these verses, these sounds. So that way you can understand the purity. So that is one thing I wanted to release. Again, when I'm speaking, please do not think that I made up all these things. This is I'm hearing from my Guru Parampara. I can give you the sources. If anybody is interested, I can give you all the sources from whom I heard all these things. And also, again, this part of this is what I was discussing with Venkat Prabhu also today. Like if you see this, you see the planes, right? At some point, you see a plane, and after some time, it starts flying. It goes up, and then it just vanishes, right? So that is the extent of our devotional service. We can keep it at any level. We can just be starting off, then we go up a little bit, go up a little, and that's just like the sky. Do you ever see a end to the sky? It's limitless. Similar like that, our devotional service, our attitude of service has got no end. It is just imagination. You can go as deep as possible. And this is exactly what the Siksastakam also does. It shows you the depth. So from the first verse to the 8th verse is the flow. You will see how deep you can go into this thing, and kind of it leads you there. So that is the thing about that Siksastakam 8 verses. And then, so the essential thing is, as you all know, all of our devotees here, so the chanting. the chanting of the holy name. So this is the, as they say in Sankirtan, and for this yuga, Kali Yuga, this is the only solution. There is no other solution, no other solution, no other solution. Right? So this is what, this is the only solution. So the whole purpose of this presentation is to get you more interested into chanting, so that you can chant it, you can practice it, and you can glorify the holy name. And not only that, as we'll see in the first verse is very critical. If you see today, you go outside anywhere, the first thing is you'll see all those flashy ads going on, right? These are the, if you buy this car, if you buy this TV, this is what you get. You know, those, what are the 8 things? So this is exactly, if you look at the first verse, it will talk about this 8 things or 7 things what you can get if you chant the holy name properly. So that's all. It starts from there. So, and again, so this is very aptly named Siksastakam. There is a reason for that, is these are not instructions. So if you look at Srimad Bhagavad Gita, see, Bhagavad Gita is an instruction where the Lord has spoken, this is what you need to do. This is more of an instruction to the mind, to your own mind. So this is not like an instruction in that sense. They are not telling this is what you have to do. No, this is not in that way. And this is more relishing the pure devotional service. How the so it's more of an individual thing instead of a collective that thing. So that's why this Siksastakam is slightly different in that way. And yeah, those were the things for the first slide. Did any of you have any questions, or can I go on to the next slide? Is good. So I hope all of you are with me. And okay, yeah, just to assure you, I don't have too many slides, so please don't get afraid. I have only few slides. Okay, now what we are trying to do is give you a high-level introduction of these 8 verses, how looking at it from different aspects, so that you can understand the relish of that. So if you look at the first one, where I said is, then there are, most of you must be knowing about the 9 stages of bhakti, right? You have Shraddha, association, and engagement, and Anartha Nivritti, that is removing unwanted steadiness, Ruchi, Asakti, and all. So what we have, what is this is, it talks about how each verse refers to the different stages of bhakti. So if you look at the first one, Chetodarpan, it refers to faith, association, and engagement. The second one, Nam Nam Makari, refers to removing the unwanted desires. Third is Trinada Pi Sunicha, that is refers to steadiness. Steadiness is very important. Then fourth one is Ruchi. The Ruchi is that taste, the small taste which you get. And Ainanda is like the Asakti. Now the taste has increased a little more. Now you cannot stay without the Lord. So that is the Asakti. Nayanam is that Asakti and Bhava. Yugayitam is that final stage where you have the stage of Prema. So Prema is like when you become mad in love. So that's the end stage. I know the target is way far. We don't even talk about that. So that's why the 7th and 8th words, I don't think we will even touch that those 2 verses. Anyway, Prema and separation and Prema and meeting. So this is how that all the verses are slide. And so there was something, some more things I wanted to add a little bit more, little bit going backward in terms of these 8 verses. So though they are presented in that sequence, it's not that Mahaprabhu spoke in that sequence. It's by the later acharyas who compiled it and gave it in that sequence. So it's not that Mahaprabhu spoke, and again Mahaprabhu kind of was not writing a book or something like that, and he was giving these verses. So it is the greatness of Mahaprabhu. So he never, can you believe he never wrote a book or anything? Have you ever heard a book written by Mahaprabhu? This is what it is. And one of the main things what it shows is, it's not that they were lazy to write a book or anything like that. The main thing is how much detached they were from the material world. they were teaching us what should be our goal in life. So they never wanted anything for themselves. And they left it all to their disciples who actually wrote the books based on this. They were so fundamental, this thing. So that is one part I wanted to mention earlier also. And again, the other part of these Siksastakam, again, glorifying it, it contains all the scriptures. If you seriously understand these eight and repeat it every day, whatever is there is in our Vedas, Puranas, everywhere, it is all contained in these eight verses. So you don't pretty much need to read anything else. These are, it's so fundamental, these verses. And yeah, again, the holy name part of it, like it stresses the importance of the holy name. Now, again, what they say in the chanting, when you chant, if you chant offensively, you make those 10 offenses. Still, you get something. What do you get? You get material benefits, even if you chant offensively. You get material benefits. But on the other hand, if you chant offensively without making those offense, that's when you get your spiritual benefits. This is the real benefits which we are wanting for. So that's this chanting is so powerful. So even when you take the name, none of that goes waste. Whatever you do, even one name, one holy name also doesn't go waste. And then the other one, you might have heard of the story of Valmiki, who wrote Ramayana. So when he was taking the holy name, his tongue was not going. So he used a different version of the name. Mara Mara is that Mara Mara became Ram. And when it became Ram, that's when that whole Ramayana came from there, right? So that's what the holy name, this thing. And this one, so these are the, yeah, this one, there was a referring to here of this consciousness, right? Yeah. So they will talk about that in the next one. Okay. Now coming to that, now another way of looking at this eight verses again. So this one is it's a probably the devotees will recognize. So there is a state of how we get our realization, right? The spiritual realization. So there are three pieces of that. One is called sambandha, that is the relationship, and the second is the prayojana. Sambandha, abhidaya, and prayojana. So abhidaya is how you do it. Now let me give an example. It's easier to understand examples. So Prabhu is driving a car he's driving his car and he sees a Tesla car going there. So he starts thinking about, wow, this is the car, this is the next one I need to get, and all those things. So that's where he establishes his sambandha. The desire is grown through that sambandha. So that is the sambandha part. Then the next is the avidaya. Then Prabhu starts thinking, okay, I need to get that car. What is the cost of the car? Where can I apply the loan? How much do I have in the bank? Who can give me credit? And all so he starts working on those things. That is the abhidaya part. And the final prayojana is when he actually gets the car and then he starts driving the car and his neighbor sees him and he has something in his eyes. That's when Prabhu enjoys that. So that's the prayojana. so anyway, so that's a very mentally sorry. I didn't mean to.
Please don't curse me. Just change new car to new temple.
New temple, absolutely. That's what we are looking for, Prabhu. Yeah, no, I don't think you got the Siksastakam verse now, I think. Yeah. So yeah, coming back to this thing. See, this is how is that. So the first 5 verses of Siksastakam establishes the sambandha. What kind of relationship we should have with the Lord. So that is what the first 5 verses. And verse 6 to 8 gives the final output, like what we are doing, the prayojan part of it. And all 8 texts are part of the sadhana. And this is how we say is you should also, when you are taking the holy name, you should reflect on these verses. Mentally, you should be reflecting on these verses and you will see how it takes you. I have another slide for that also. So I'll discuss that. So, any questions on the last two? I know I have been a little gone little fast, but if you want to take any questions, please. Anything, bro? Not yet, right? Okay. Any others? You're fine. You can go to the next one. I think a couple of more slides. Okay. And the next one is again in terms of the bhakti and the devotional service. So what we have is different types of devotional service. So one is called Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti is when we do our sadhana and all those things. The next, what are this? Rupa Raganuga Bhakti, where spontaneous devotional service. You don't have to do anything, like it's not doing out of this thing. The third one is the Bhava Bhakti. This is still higher platform. And the last one is the Prema Bhakti. When is that? So again, these 8 verses have been classified into four types of bhakti. So the first five, the Cheto Darpanam, Nam Nam Trinadari, Najanam Nanda, they are all part of Vaidhi Bhakti. And the sixth one, that Nayanam is Raganuga Bhakti. And the seventh, Bhava Bhakti is Yugaitam, and Prem Bhakti is Ashlishyama. So Prem Bhakti is considered to be the pinnacle of devotional service. Okay, and so that one, let me see if I had anything extra on that. Yeah. Okay. So kind of one more, this one. So this mainly for seriously who are practicing devotional service and the japa. This is going to be very, very important. And recently I came across this. There is one of our very senior devotees from ISKCON. His name is His Grace Burijan Prabhu. He has written a couple of books on japa, on the art of chanting of the holy name. And he has given 9 keys how we can improve our japa based on the Siksastakam. So I thought I would share with you. So first one is we need to be convinced this is our only solution. So we have to chant Hare Krishna. Now, if you are neophyte who is just starting off, he might chant one round. That's absolutely fine, no issues. But slowly he needs to increase. And we generally go up to 16 rounds, but that 16 rounds is just a minimum rounds. So one of our spiritual masters, they say, you do minimum 16 rounds, but definitely we'll do more. And whenever we get time, whenever is there, the chanting should go on. The chanting should never stop. So that's what we should keep our consciousness. So that is what the first point. And the second one, this is the very one. It says, listen just one mantra. I was talking to Venkat Prabhu also about this. Now, what does this mean? Listen just one mantra. Some people say one mantra at a time. Do you say, Prabhu? One mantra at a time. It's not that. It is says still listen just one mantra, not at a time. Now, why is that? Why is Burijan Prabhu talking about that? Actually, it's in his book, he has mentioned all these things. There is a reason why he's mentioning this. So, as you all know, many of might be reading Srila Prabhupada purports. As we have a physical body, we have something subtle inside that. Something is always 24 hours talking to us, right? So, what is that? What is that talking to us? That's called the mind. The mind is talking to us. Below the mind, there are two more layers there. What are the two more layers? One is intelligence, and the other is the false ego. So these are also, but they are not as subtle as, like they are not as above in the mind as the other ones. The mind is the one which directly talks to us, but those are inside us. Now, the one thing about the mind is like exactly like that child which is sitting there. The mind is the child. To the child, if I give him like 50 instructions at a point of time, will he be able to do? After all, he's a child, right? The same thing, the mind is also exactly same thing. You have to give it very simple instructions. If you try to give it 50 instructions at a time, you have to do 16 rounds, you have to do so much time, it will be lost. So just tell one thing, listen to that holy name. If I say Hare Krishna, I'm just listening to Hare Krishna. I'm not doing anything else. Just listen to the holy name. you see how your chanting improves. Your 16 rounds will be just like that, will be finishing your 16 rounds. If you start listening to them, the focus should be only on the holy name, nothing else. And we should not be even talking about at a time or 16 rounds, nothing like that. Just focus on the holy name. So that's what he said. Listen just one mantra and then state your determination. This is also very important. See, when the material things and all, we have so much determination. Somehow I have to get this done by 8 o'clock. I have to be in the office by 7:30. I'm there and all those things. The same kind of determination. Today I am going to chant, and I like chanting. That should be our determination. Or the mind will sell thousands of things, you go there, you go to this and all. But that should not be. So our determination should be clear when before we chant. And then from wherever the mind wanders. There's a typo here. It's a wanders. So you don't be really concerned about that because that is the nature of the mind. If the mind goes to thousands of places, let it go. Then nothing to get too much worried or anxious about it. Oh, I'm sorry, this thing. Nothing like that. Just bring it back. Just bring it back to the holy name. That's what he says. And then detachment. Definitely detachment. This material world, okay, we understand all those things are for everything, but it's a question of time. That last moment is coming to come anyway. We have to get rid of this place. So what's the point of getting too much detached here? Okay, and neglect the mind. As the next one also he says, neglect the mind. Keep on talking, blabbering. Let it blabber. Nothing to worry. So blabbering. That's I one good example I listened was like when you say from here to you drive to Chicago, and you have a couple of kids in the back. Oh, mama, you see that? Oh, so such a beautiful place. If you start looking here and there, that's it. You're not reaching Chicago anymore. Your focus is only on Chicago. That is how the chanting also should be. Our focus should be only on the holy name. All other things, let it happen. Nothing to too much get worried about. And then the next is humility. We should always chant in a very humble mode. It's not that I'm the ruler of this world. I know whatever I think this is going to happen and all this. That's not the thing. If you look at the Siksastakam verse 3, that's where the humility is very clear. So that is my Guru Maharaj's very famous verse, right? Tinavadu Pisamichena. And then finally, yeah, always we under the shelter, take the shelter of the holy name. That is the best shelter possible in this world. We think, my bank balance is the shelter, my this is the shelter. All those are temporary. It's just going to go away. So this is the final shelter. And then definitely the other one is, anything happens in your life, so many changes, you will see a lot of things changing in your life for the good, after the holy name. And it's not happening just because of your chanting. It is happening because of the mercy of the Lord. Krishna is so loving. He loves each one of us dearly. And the only reason that today I'm here is he said one thing to me before I came here, Patit Bhavan. I told him, Patit Bhavan, there are so many big preachers in Columbus. Did you get me only? I'm the lowest guy here. I don't even know much. He told me one thing which really brushed my heart. He told each devotee has got a unique relationship to the Lord. So there is no competition here. You don't have to think, oh, he is greater than me, I am greater than him. Nothing like that. The Lord loves each of us in a very unique way. And we need to reciprocate that. Just reciprocate the Lord, He will take care of everything. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. This is a very nice update. Yeah, I think with that, I think I'll be closing. Any other things, or I would like to open up for a few questions. If some of you want to share something, and then we'll get on to the registration, or should we take the rest after the registration? Which one is better? You want to discuss first, or you want to first look at the 9 verses and then any preference or recitation? Okay, let's do the recitation. After that, we will have some questions because. Okay, so yeah, so Want to start? Somebody else, bro? One by one.
Yeah.
One. Take the mic, bro.
No, you can keep going.
Chant together?
Yeah, we can chat.
Chant together. Let's chant together. चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृत स्वादनम् सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम् नामकारी बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिः तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशम् इहा जान अनुरागः त्रिनादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानीन मानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरिः न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये न जन्मईश्वरे भवताद्भक्ति अहैतुकी त्वयि अयि नन्दनुजाकिङ्करं पतितां मां विस्मये भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कज स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तया नयनं गलदस्फुदारय वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकैर्निचितं वपु कदा तव नाम गणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमीषेण चक्षुषा प्रावृषायिता शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे आश्लिष्य वा पादरतं पिनस्तु माम् अदर्शनां मर्महतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विददातु पटो मननास्तु स एव न परा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Siksastakam ki. So Prabhu, one by one we can read this, the English meaning. You want to read? No.
Cleansing the mirror of consciousness, dousing the fire of birth and death, fortune's lotus white moonbeams glow, vitalizing the truths we know, swelling oceans of Kirtan bliss, fill each step with the taste we have missed. Bathing spirits for everyone, all glories to Sri Krishna Sankirtan.
Yeah, I just wanted a small this thing. So this is, if you look at our ISKCON book, this may not be the exact translation because this translation is by His Grace Kalakan Prabhu. Kalakan Prabhu made this so that it can be this thing. So it's reflecting the same. So next one, somebody else can read. Prabhu. Yeah.
My Lord, you have more names than anyone could
Ever say.
And you empower every name to bless us everywhere. You let us chant at any hour, circumstance, or place. Yet I am so unfortunate, I still don't have a taste.
Next one. One
One who chants in humble mood and keeps their tolerant attitude of trampled straw or patient trees can chant names.
thought.
No money, no students, no paramours, no vested interest for me, my Lord. Through every birth, I only pray to serve you in a selfless way.
Next one.
I am your servant, Nanda's son, and yet I fell into this sea of birth and death. Your cause of mercy only can make me a speck of dust upon your lotus feet.
Next one, Prabhu.
When will a shower of tears fill my eyes? When will my bodily fear start to rise? When will my voice choke and throat constrained as I feel ecstasy chanting your names?
Next one.
A moment like 1,000 years, my eyes began to flood with tears. The cosmos is an empty sphere, Govinda, when you disappear.
Pro.
Let Krishna fasten me to his lotus feet. Krishna trample or go away or play like a man who cheats on his wife. Still only Krishna shall delay my life.
Yeah. So these are the 8 verses we have been talking about on those slides. So I think it's around 3:45. Good. Like we can definitely take 2 or 3 questions, right? And all the questions Patith Balram will answer. So. So yeah, anybody wants to share, please share our questions. Please ask.
So Prabhu, you were
Yeah,
saying
go ahead.
that it's not, Mahaprabhu didn't recite all of it at once.
Right.
What was the time frame? Do you know, like, was it just here and there, or was it all?
Yeah, I was seeing something from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. So he was mentioning that it's all part of the Antilila, the third piece, and it's more relishing. And he says in that third Antilila, he was not actually interacting more with devotees and all those. He was more in a self-contemplation mood in the last part. So these verses were more part of that. And it happened in different points of time.
Yes.
It's not like in one point of time. And these are more of Mahaprabhu's ecstasies. So when he was going into ecstasy, he used to give this verse and that kind of thing. Yeah, towards the end. So that's what. So was that your
Yeah,
question?
thank you.
Okay. Yep.
I like the way you linked the 8 verses to the 9 stages.
Mhm.
Shraddha, Sadhana, that is very nice. Like where we can say that initially when we do chanting, we cleanse our heart
Right.
and our faith increases. Then with the association of devotees, we keep going forward and Anartha Nivritti. So all those.
Yes. It's
very
that
nice.
stage wise. It is there. And these are most of the what we have taken is all from Srila Sripad Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. So here's all they have all these literatures on just on the Siksastakam. It's such a fundamental verses, so everybody we should know about this. So then read on a daily basis. The blessings come when we read these 8 verses and then chant. The blessings come. That's why in all ISKCON temples, first is Siksastakam verse. Then only we start the chanting. Without chanting the verse, we should not chant. And if you can understand and release each of these verses, understand the words, nothing like that. So that's what. Any other thoughts, Prabhu? You want to add
Yes,
something?
I really need another lesson in humility. So can you review slide 3 for me? I missed it,
Slide 3. Okay.
the verse 3.
This one, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, this is the most famous verse. One of the Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadhari. So one who chants in humble mood and keeps the tolerant attitude of trampled straw or patient trees can chant your names incessantly. So this is what Kalakan Prabhu has. This is Kalakan Prabhu's. No, I was also initially, but this is Kalakan Prabhu. Yes, amazing translation. So that's what I was mentioning. So like that, humility is very, very important. And you talk about the humility of the straw. Everybody is walking, they stamp on the straw, but again it comes back and again, so he gets trampled. So that humility should be there. We should never be thinking like we are the best or everything runs because of me and that kind of thing. And the trees also, if you look at these trees, whether it is snow, whether it is winds, whether it is that, it pretty much takes everything. That kind of humility is what we are talking about. And chant your names instantly. That's what I'm mentioning, right? All these 16 rounds, these are all minimum. It is all talking about minimum rounds, just to guide you that you have to do minimum 16 rounds. But the chanting is something which needs to. Actually, I heard about one of the, it's probably documented about Srila Prabhupada's thing. So he was once on the second floor or something of a building. So one of these disciples, they got that idea. Oh, let's see what he's doing in the night and all. So they actually got up on the building, either through a pipe or something like that, and see. And they see Srila Prabhupada sleeping. But what do they hear? The chanting. The holy name is being chanted. Instantly, even if he's sleeping, that holy name was going on. Even today, I was hearing in Prabhu's house, he's got a bell. When he rings that bell, it has that vibration which goes for 5 minutes or something like that, right? So I was like, it is something like that. Oh, that holy name should be something which should be always vibrating in us, or whatever it does. Does it help, Prabhu? Or you wanted to add
Very
something?
much so.
So anybody else wants to add or chip in? Particularly, you're the first one. You coming after a long time, or you guys had? Did you guys get anything from this, or was it like totally? Okay.
Yeah, no, it's great, yeah.
So
I didn't realize that you should say those verses before you chant.
okay, yeah. That's so it's advisable to say that, and it's good actually. The auspicious, as they were mentioning, that is equivalent to the holy name. It is just equivalent because it came from Mahaprabhu's mouth. So, and actually, even they say like the three big dhams in India. You must be familiar, right? One is Vrindavan, second is Jagannath Puri, and the third is Mayapur, right? It's actually the other way around. So first is Mayapur. You should always visit Mayapur Dham first. That's where you will get your mercy. Because Mahaprabhu is very, very merciful. Nityanand Prabhu also is very, very merciful. Go there, take mercy, then go to Jagannath Puri. He will accept you, and then finally you reach Vrindavan. You should not be directly going to Vrindavan. It's probably not advisable, right, Prabhu? So,
This is practical. I took so
Yeah.
many new devotees to first my
uh,
different they will come to now to Krishna consciousness.
exactly,
Practically, I see so many devotees.
exactly.
Without anything, they start with my Chaitanya mercy they will get and they will continue Krishna.
Correct.
They practically.
Absolutely. Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? Hare Krishna. Nice to see you. Hare Krishna. So, anybody else has any? Sorry, this was quickly prepared and hopefully I was not too fast. So,
Good analysis.
thank you. Thank you. And again, this is all our spiritual masters. It's a mercy that we were able to do. So, and I think this also is pretty much. Is it the same translation? I think they presented in. Is it the same one?
It's the same.
Same one, right? Same one. I just different. Okay, bro. Thank you, bro. You can continue.
His Grace Ram Kirtan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.